Well, good morning, my beautiful people, and how are you today? I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and today we are working on our Marguerite Miller collage page. Excuse me rummaging around the side here, I forgot to get my inks out because I want to use some orange ink. Okay, so here we go. We are on week 7. We need something that squeaks or honks. Well, I thought a car's got a honker, hasn't it? Yeah? We honk at people while we're driving. So we've got that. A cake. I've been in my cooking book and I found a cake. A pair of something. Well, I've bought a pair of doilies. Something that's torn. Well, I've got this parchment paper, so I want to do some colouring and tearing on that. And a math symbol. Well, I'm probably going to draw that on. But I've also got this bike because, you know, you had the old-fashioned sort of honk honk horn on a bike. And perhaps the wheels or the brakes squeak. So there you go. Now this time around, as you know, I am doing double pages. And I thought we would start with book pages to the back this time. So I'm going to get down my glass mat. And I have got a coffee spray. Actually, I lied, that's fire brick, not orange. Did anyone notice? This is the Spice Marmalade orange that I want because I feel like it sits well with our cake and with our honk honk car. So I'm going to put that on there. Whoops. I'm going to squirt it with some coffee. So we've got coffee water. So we've got 2 colours going there. And I want to just get some real good colour on there. Look at that. That's lovely. Okay. So I'm going to have to put you on pause, aren't I, and go and dry that in a minute. But let's do the other one as well. Got some beautiful colour markings on that. So I'm going to put you on pause and I will run and get them dry. Okay, so they're nicely dry. I want to get some grungy brown on here, so I'm just going to spray the coffee on its own. I'll get that dried as well, and then I think we'll get another layer before we continue. Okay, so we've got our 2 layers on there. I'm going to set them to the side for a moment. I'm going to bring in my parchment paper and I'm going to do the same thing with the Distress Oxide in the ground Expresso, but this time I'm going to use a brush. So this is the coffee again going into this, and I'm going to move this up there. I'm going to get my parchment paper. I'm going to get some splashes going once I can get some liquid in this. We need more liquid, don't we? That's not anywhere near wet enough. There we go, let's try that. That's better. Love a bit of splash work. Move that over. and then I'll go and get this dried off as well, and then we can start to build our page. I just want to make sure I've got all of it nicely covered. Probably better wipe the desk as well before I carry on. What do you think? Okay, so I'll go and dry this and then I'll be back. Okay, you probably can't see that because of the green of the mat underneath, but let's bring in our book. What's going on there? There's our bike. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to get these stuck down as our backgrounds. So I'm going to get out the glue stick and I'm just going to smother my page and get these. Whoops, we don't really want that, do we? We have all our pages sticking together, that's no good. Right, so let's get this stuck down like so. Use my bone folder just to make sure. Okay, I think we've got, I just want to make sure they're not stuck together. Okay, so now I'm going to put the other one on the other side. So how is everybody? You're busy crafting. What you're working on? Update on the testing of the new channel. I think I have decided that I'm 100% correct, and there is most definitely a gremlin in this channel, because the other one seems to be marching ahead without any kind of advertising or promotion. So there's only one person that I've given the address to because I wanted them to help me test it out. So yeah, okay, so there we go. So there's our backgrounds. Now what I want to do is take my tear ruler. I'm going to come down here like that. And I'm hoping this is going to give me 2 pieces. So you fold it roughly in half, and then I'm going to tear it down there. That's going to dull down the back a bit, but we'll still be able to see it, which is awesome. What I'm not sure now is whether we should actually put this doily in the middle underneath, so we get the orange and the doily. I think the doily's too big, so I've actually got some smaller doilies. Let's have a look in here and pull out a couple of smaller ones. Also, these have been coffee dyed. That's better. I like that. Right, so the doily is getting stuck down, and that is going to go to the top. And then the second one, we use it. No, that's a bit boring. Looking for a nice coffee dye pattern. This one is going to go to the bottom, so that we're like working on the, oh look at that, we've got a pattern. Working on the diagonals. That one's going to go there. And pick up those pieces. Push that up to the side for a minute. Let's get some glue on our parchment paper. And then we are going to lay this down over the top. Obviously at the moment we've got the purple of the glue, so you're seeing a colour that won't really be there. And just make sure I've got the right side. We'll do the other one as well. So at the moment I'm like semi-mirroring the pages. They're not completely mirrored obviously, because I've got one doily at the top and one at the bottom. Okay, let's put this one on that side. Whoops, what have I pressed? Oh, I've broken off the charm that was on the front. I'll fix that later. Okay, so now we've got this lovely coloured textural thing going on. Now we also need our car, our toot toot car, and I've got my bike. Now I'm wondering whether to vary them in that we've got the car on that side and the bike on that side. Let's fussy cut this out a minute and see what happens. So I'm going to roughly cut it out and come up. I don't want it too precise. Oops. Like a little bit. Oh, I was going to say a little bit of white, and then I've gone right onto the wheel. That's because I'm doing it quickly rather than concentrating. Let's have a look. This is the old jalopy by Tim Holtz, in case you were wondering. So you see we could have the car at the bottom, the bike towards the top, or I'm wondering if I want to cut this up there like that. And we've got the back of the car there and the front of the car there. That's better, isn't it? It's joining it up. Yes. Okay, so now we need to work out, see, I fussy cut that for nothing. We need to work out what we're going to do with our cake. So I think I'm going to keep the plate. This is a ginger cake, isn't it? You can see the slices of almost crystallised ginger on the top. My hubby loves a ginger cake. I'm just wondering if I want to actually cut the plate out. I think I'm probably going to cut the plate out actually. Let's cut the plate out. We do not need a plate for our cake. Excuse me. Also, I think, you know, the plate is a traditional dessert cake, so it's got fruits and things on it, which is confusing our image. There we go. So we've got a lovely cake, and I'm wondering, and I've got to think about this, because that is a big chunk of cake there. And our car is, no, our car is on top of our chunk of cake, and this is a really huge chunk of cake here. In fact, look, there, automatically, without realising it, is our math symbol, because we've basically got a 1/4 That was odd, wasn't it? So where's my little bit of paper? Have we used what we need to be using? Something that honks or squeaks, a cake, a pair of something. We haven't got something torn, and a math symbol. So what we could do is we could put our cake on a serviette maybe. So let's see if we can add another doily. Oops. Another doily, say there. Bring our cake round on, so it's sitting on it. So it needs to sit there, doesn't it? There's our cake sitting on our doily, like so. Oh, it's sticking to my fingers, you see. This is the problem. Right. Got glue on my fingers. So we're going to put our cake on our upper doily, and then we're going to put our car on top of the whole thing, and then somewhere we're going to get our maths equation. But that does mean that these doilies need to be darker. So I'll bring in my book, I'll bring in my archival ink, I think, yes, and we will just darken this up a bit more. It's all become orange and brown, hasn't it? And then I'll do the other one, and then I'll, oops, I've just stuck my finger in that, did you see that? And then I'm going to bring in the Expresso, the ground Expresso, and go over the top, I think. So, because this is an orangey brown, whereas the ground Expresso is really dark. Especially as it's a semi-new one, it's got juiciness to it. Look at that. Yeah, like that. And I'm going to do the same to this one. There we go. Right, let's close that up. Bring this all back. Let's see where we're at. So this one goes on this dark one, this bigger one there. So let's get the glue and glue this centre piece, and then just a few of them outer pieces. And we're going to put that about there. And now I'm just going to run a bit around there. Stick that down. Around the top. Okay, now let's get our cake. Got eggs on the back. I think it's this ginger cake is shown at Easter time in the cookery book. Right, so we want it on there, don't we? On there, like that. And now we can put our car on, our old jalopy. This is a very old Tim Holtz die. It's one of the really deep ones where you take the centre gummings of your big shot out. It's one of the, you know, really deep ones with the metal that comes up. Okay. And then this one is obviously going to sit that way down a bit. So now that we've got it in position, we can glue round so we know where we want it. That's better. Glue that one. Okay, and glue this up. And although this is definitely a ginger cake with the crystallised ginger on the top, some ginger cakes are called ginger parkin, and those of you in the UK will know, or probably know, Darling Buds of May, and they had an old jalopy, a cream coloured one. I think it was an old Rolls Royce actually, but not dissimilar to this one, and their name was Larkin. So we've got ginger parkin for Larkin and we've got an old jalopy for their vintage Rolls Royce. Oh, that's not quite right, is it? That car's at a different height. Quick before it sticks. Ah. There you go. So we've got our car and our cake. So yeah, it's almost Darling Buds of Cakery or something. Now I need to get my maths symbol on, which we said would be a 1/2 and a 1/4. I need to work out how I'm going to do that. This parchment is not going to take ink very well, is it? If I write on it, it will smudge off. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some scrap of paper. We'll put that there, and that will hold the title, and then we'll put one up there which will hold that one. And then if I find what I really want is like the wide edge of some music paper, but of course I haven't got any of that here, have I? That would be far too easy. So I think we'll try and find some packaging paper. There you go, that'll do it. So tear that off. Like that. And down there like that. And then roughly in half. But of course now that's straight. Oh well, still straight. And then I'll get my black felt tip and I will go half, and that can be held in place by that. And then this one is probably not a proper 1/4, but that will be a 1/4, which will be held up under that one up there. And then we've just got to work out, I think this goes on the bottom corner this week. So I'm going to glue this one first. Whoops. So let's glue the back and stick that on like so, and we'll glue the back of this up. This is just obviously the torn edge of a ring edge. In fact, actually, I think it's one of the excess pages that I took out of this book, and we'll put that down there, because that is what's holding, you know, pretend holding that in place. We'll do exactly the same for the half. And which way did I do this? So I did, right, I did the straight edge to the centre, like that. Okay, so that's holding that down, as it were. We need a little bit of ink on here. Okay, and if it's going in that corner, it's going to need its glue on that bottom triangle there. So it's going to go in the corner there, and it can flip down like that. So there you go, this week's collage page. There's that. This week's collage page. I don't know what to call it. Oh, now a quarter is a fraction, isn't it? And the car's been cut in half, so that's technically a fraction. I'm going to call it fractions of cake. There you go. Stay safe. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye for now.